Chosen one. If you are hearing my voice right now, stop everything. Do not scroll. Do not look away. Do not assume this is just another video on your feed. Because the God of the universe does not operate by algorithms, he operates by appointments. And this is your appointment. Listen closely. God just spoke a word over your life that has shaken the spiritual realm. He said one word, tomorrow. But he didn't just say tomorrow. He gave a command that contradicts everything your logical mind is telling you to do. He said, tell my chosen one to start packing right now. Not start praying, not start planning. Start packing. You have felt it for the last 72 hours, haven't you? That restless agitation in your spirit. That sudden urge to clean your house, to throw things away, to distance yourself from people you used to tolerate. You thought it was just anxiety. You thought you were just being moody. You were wrong. That is not anxiety. That is the spirit of extraction hitting your atmosphere. God is about to move you physically, spiritually, and financially so fast that if you are not packed and ready by the time the sun rises on your tomorrow, you will be left behind in a season that has already expired. I am going to give you the extraction protocol for this shift. I am going to show you exactly what to pack and what to burn. But you need to align with this timing immediately. If you feel that restlessness I just described, I need you to signal heaven right now. Subscribe to lock into this prophetic channel. Like this video to declare I am listening, and comment I am packed below. Do it now. Do not enter this revelation passively. Now, chosen one, we need to address that glitch you are feeling. You know exactly what I am talking about. It is that strange sensation that you are walking through your own life, but you do not recognize it anymore. You wake up in your bed, look at the ceiling, and for a split second, you forget where you are. You walk into your kitchen, the same kitchen you have used for years, but the air feels thin. The atmosphere feels foreign. You are not going crazy. You are living in a glitch between two timelines. See, in the spirit realm, the shift has already happened. God has already teleported your spirit into the dimension of tomorrow, but your physical body is still lagging behind in today. That tension, that vibrating anxiety you feel in your chest, that is the friction of your spirit trying to drag your body into the new season. Your spirit has already moved out. Your body is the only thing still paying rent in the old season. And because of this displacement, there are 3 specific signs of spiritual eviction that are happening to you right now. I call them the Eviction Notice. You have likely experienced the first 2 already, and they probably scared you because you didn't know what they meant. The first sign is what I call the wall crack. I want you to think about the last time you walked into your living room or your office. Maybe it was yesterday. You looked around, and suddenly, everything looked old. Not just dusty, but energetically expired. You saw a crack in the wall you never noticed before. You saw the clutter on the table and felt a wave of anger. Zoom into that moment. You are standing there, holding your car keys, staring at a room that used to be your sanctuary, and suddenly it feels like a prison cell. You feel the walls closing in. You feel like the ceiling is lowering. You have an overwhelming urge to run out the door or to grab a trash bag and throw everything away. That is not you being messy. That is your spirit eyes opening. When God is about to move you, he makes the current nest uncomfortable. He breaks the comfort zone so you won't be tempted to stay. If you still loved the cage, you would never fly. So he makes the cage look ugly. The second sign is the social static. This one is harder. This one hurts more. It happens when you are talking to someone you have known for years, a friend, a family member, a co-worker. You are sitting across from them, maybe at a dinner table. They are talking about the same things they always talk about: drama, gossip, the news, the weather. And usually you would join in. You would laugh. You would engage. But this time you hear static. Their voice sounds distant. You look at their mouth moving, and you think, why does this conversation feel so heavy? Why does their voice drain me? You find yourself checking your phone, looking for an exit, making up an excuse to leave early. You get in your car, you shut the door, and the silence feels like medicine. You feel guilty, don't you? You think you are becoming cold or arrogant. Stop that thought. You are not becoming arrogant. You are becoming misaligned. Your frequency has shifted up, and they stayed where they were. You are trying to tune into a station called Tomorrow, and they are still broadcasting on station Yesterday. The static you hear is the sound of a severed connection. God is cutting the soul ties, because where you are going, you cannot carry dead weight. I will tell you the third sign in a moment, and it is the most violent one of all. But before I do, you need to understand why this urgency is necessary. Why does God say, start packing now? Why not next week? We need to look at a pattern in Scripture that explains your specific situation. It is found in Exodus chapter 12. When God was about to take the Israelites out of Egypt, he gave them very specific instructions on how to eat their final meal, the Passover. He didn't say, relax, take your time, enjoy the food. Listen to the instructions in verse 11. He said, this is how you are to eat it, with your cloak tucked into your belt, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat it in haste. Think about that image. They are inside their houses, but they are dressed like they are already on the road. They have their shoes on. They have their travel bags strapped to their backs. They are eating standing up, swallowing their food quickly, hearts pounding, ears listening for the signal. Why? Because when the door opens, it will not stay open. When the move of God happens, it is sudden, it is violent, it is immediate. Chosen one, you are in your Passover night right now. That is why you cannot relax. That is why you cannot sit down and watch a movie without feeling guilty. That is why sleep escapes you. You are wearing your spiritual sandals. You are holding your staff. Your spirit knows that the trumpet is about to sound, and you cannot be found searching for your shoes when the cloud of glory starts to move. Check your body right now. Do this with me. Do not move your hands. Just shift your internal focus to your chest area, right behind your sternum. Do you feel that pressure? It feels like a knot, or a butterfly that is beating its wings too hard. Move your attention up to your throat. Do you feel that tightness? Like there is a scream or a cry trapped right at the base of your vocal cords. That sensation is not anxiety. Doctors might call it panic. The world might call it stress. But I am telling you, as a prophet of the Most High, that sensation is the physics of expansion. Imagine trying to fit a size 10 foot into a size 5 shoe. It hurts. It throbs. It feels like the shoe is trying to crush the foot. But the shoe isn't crushing the foot. The foot has simply outgrown the shoe. Your spirit has outgrown your life. Your anointing has outgrown your environment. That pressure in your chest is your destiny pushing against the ribs of your current reality, screaming, "Let me out. We are too big for this room. We are too big for this job. We are too big for these conversations." That brings me to the third sign of spiritual eviction. The one I told you was violent. The third sign is sudden repulsion. It is deeper than the wall crack. It is deeper than the social static. This is a visceral, physical reaction to things you used to love. You wake up and look at the clothes in your closet, and you hate them. You look at the TV shows you used to binge watch, and they make you feel sick. You walk into your favorite restaurant, smell the food, and lose your appetite. It feels like a spiritual vomit reflex. Why is this happening? Because God is making you allergic to Egypt. If you still loved the food of Egypt, you would turn back as soon as the wilderness got hard. So God has to turn your taste buds against your past. He is making the old season taste like ash in your mouth, so that the only thing you crave is the milk and honey of tomorrow. If you are feeling this repulsion, do not rebuke it. Do not pray for God to make you comfortable again. He will not answer that prayer. He is the one making you uncomfortable. He is using disgust as a propulsion system to launch you out of stagnation. So, you have the signs. You have the restlessness. You have the pressure in your chest. You have the repulsion. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are being evicted from this season. And you know you need to start packing. But listen to me very carefully now, because this is where most chosen ones fail. This is where the enemy sets a trap that looks like obedience, but is actually destruction. You are ready to pack. You are ready to move. But there is a deadly mistake you are about to make. You think packing means cleaning your garage. You think packing means deleting old photos. You think packing means blocking your ex on social media. Those are good steps. But they are surface steps. There is a trap waiting for you. A trap that has kept thousands of chosen ones walking in circles in the wilderness for 40 years. It is the trap of fake packing. It is the trap of moving your physical body to a new location while carrying the exact same spiritual virus in your luggage. And if you do not understand what I am about to tell you next, you will not just miss your tomorrow. You will turn your tomorrow into a repeat of your yesterday. It looks like preparation, but it is actually procrastination, and I need to show you exactly what it is, and why the enemy is handing you the wrong suitcase. The trap is what I call physical packing without spiritual severing. Here is what that looks like. You break up with the toxic partner, you block their number, you move to a new apartment, and you even start going to a new church. Physically, you have packed. Physically, you have moved. But at 2 a.m., your mind is still replaying the arguments. Your spirit is still stalking their social media from a fake account. You have transported your body to the promised land, but you have smuggled the spirit of Egypt in your carry-on luggage. This is not extraction. This is contamination. If you move to a new level while holding on to the bitterness of the old level, you will infect the new season before you even unpack your bags. You are becoming a carrier of the very virus God is trying to heal you from. And this brings us to one of the most terrifying warnings in Scripture, one that you have likely misunderstood your entire life. We need to look at Genesis chapter 19, the story of Lot's wife. You know the story. God sends angels to extract Lot and his family from Sodom before the fire falls. The command was simple. Escape for your life. Do not look back. But as they were running, as they were physically moving toward safety, Lot's wife looked back, and the Bible says she became a pillar of salt. Now, I want to unpack this with you, because this is not just a story about disobedience. This is a story about incomplete packing. The Hebrew word used for look back is nabat. It does not mean a casual glance over the shoulder. It does not mean she was just curious about the noise. Nabat implies a gaze of longing. It implies consideration. It implies regard. She was running with her feet, but her heart was reaching back for her home, her status, her comfort, and her friends. Her body was in the future, but her soul was anchored in the past. And because of that split, she was frozen. Why salt? Have you ever thought about that? Why didn't she turn into stone or ash? Salt is a preservative. It keeps things exactly as they are. It stops the process of change. When she looked back with longing, God gave her exactly what her spirit was asking for. She wanted the past? Fine. She was preserved in that moment forever. She became a monument to yesterday. Stagnation is the judgment for looking back when God says, move forward. Chosen one, you are in danger of becoming a pillar of salt. You are asking God for the new job, the new relationship, the new ministry. But if He gave it to you today, you would turn it into a shrine for your past trauma. You are not ready for tomorrow because you are still secretly dating yesterday. So, how do we fix this? How do we pack properly so we don't get frozen between dimensions? We are going to use a framework I call the 3 boxes of extraction. I want you to visualize this right now. In your mind, I want you to imagine you are standing in the center of your soul. It is a large room, filled with everything you have collected over the years. Memories, habits, relationships, mindsets, grudges. On the floor of this room, there are 3 boxes. The first box is red. It is labeled the burn box. This box is for the things that are toxic, sinful, and dead. These are the things that cannot be recycled. They cannot be fixed. They must be incinerated. Into this box goes the bitterness against the parent who abandoned you. Into this box goes the shame of the mistake you made 5 years ago. Into this box goes the phone number of that person who only calls you when they need something. Most chosen ones try to put these things in storage. We think, I will just hide this anger in the closet. I will just keep this toxic friendship on the shelf, just in case I get lonely. No, you cannot store fire in a paper bag. If you try to hide these things, they will burn your house down. You have to put them in the burn box. And when you close this box, you are not just saying goodbye. You are striking a match. You are agreeing that these things will turn to ash, and ash cannot be reassembled. Now, look at the second box. This one is gray. It is labeled the archive box. This is the box that trips everyone up. This is the hardest box to fill, because the things that go in here are not bad things. They are good things that have expired. This box is for the victories of yesterday. It is for the relationships that were seasonal, not eternal. It is for the anointing that worked in your last season, but will not work in your next one. You see, you cannot wear your high school varsity jacket to a corporate boardroom meeting. It was a great jacket. It represents a time of glory. But if you wear it now, you look immature. You look like you peaked 10 years ago. Many of you are trying to drag old methods into a new miracle. You are trying to use the survival skills you learned in your trauma to navigate your blessing. But survival skills in a safe place look like paranoia. You have to archive them. You have to look at that old way of doing things, kiss it, thank it for keeping you alive, and put it in the gray box. You are not burning it. You are honoring it by leaving it in history where it belongs. Now, before I show you the third box, which is the most critical one, I need us to do a micro-action together. I need us to practice filling the burn box right now, in the spirit. I want you to think of one specific connection, a person, a habit, or a mindset that you know, deep in your gut, does not belong in your tomorrow. You know exactly what it is. It popped into your head the moment I said it. Visualize yourself holding your phone. In your mind's eye, see that contact name on the screen. Zoom into this moment. Feel the weight of the phone in your hand. It feels heavy, doesn't it? Look at your thumb hovering over the delete button. Watch it tremble. This is where the battle is. This is where the enemy whispers. But what if you need them? What if you end up alone? What if you are making a mistake? Feel that resistance in your chest. That is the gravity of Sodom trying to pull you back. That is the salt trying to form around your feet. Now, in your mind, I want you to take a deep breath, and as you exhale, I want you to see your thumb pressing down. Click. Gone. Feel the panic rising for a second. That is normal. That is withdrawal. Now, feel what comes after the panic. The space, the silence, the vacuum that God can now fill. You just put that soul tie in the burn box. Now, turn your attention to the third box. This box is small, it is gold, and it is labeled the carry-on. Here is the rule for the carry-on. You are only allowed to put things in here that God Himself has stamped with a visa for tomorrow. Most of you are trying to pack too much. You want to bring your comfort. You want to bring your need for validation. You want to bring your reputation. You want to bring your backup plans. But the flight to the next dimension has a strict weight limit. You cannot ascend if you are heavy. The only things allowed in the carry-on are pure faith, pure wisdom, and the specific promises God gave you for the future. That is it. Everything else is contraband. If you try to sneak your control issues into the carry-on, the detector will go off and you will be grounded. If you try to sneak your need for people's approval into the carry-on, you will miss the flight. This is why you feel so stripped right now. This is why it feels like you are losing everything. You aren't losing. You are being lightened. God is emptying your pockets because He knows the climb ahead is steep, and you cannot climb a mountain carrying a sofa. You have to look at your life and ask a terrifying question. If I could only bring my relationship with God and nothing else, would that be enough? If the answer is no, then you are not packed. You are hoarding. So here is your protocol. You have your burn box for the sin and trauma. You have your archive box for the expired good things. And you have your carry-on for the essential faith. You now have the framework. You know what to do. The logic makes sense. But as you stand there in the spirit, staring at these boxes, taping them shut, getting ready to walk out the door, something happens. The lights in the room flicker. The temperature drops, and you feel a cold hand on your shoulder. You have learned the mechanics of packing, but you haven't yet faced the emotion of leaving. You are about to encounter what I call the shadow of departure. There is a voice in your head that is about to scream louder than it ever has before. It is not the voice of your enemy. It is a voice much closer to home. It is the voice of your own survival instinct, begging you to turn back to the familiarity of your pain. And if you are not prepared for what this voice is going to say to you in the next hour, you might just drop your carry-on and run back into the fire. That voice is not the devil. It is something much more subtle. It is the voice of your own comfort zone, masquerading as wisdom. It whispers things like, "Be reasonable. Don't burn bridges. What if you leave and the new place is worse than this? What if you end up alone? At least here, you know the rules. At least here, people know your name. I need to validate something for you right now, chosen one. What you are feeling is not a lack of faith. It is a biological addiction to familiarity. Psychologists call this comfortable captivity. It is the phenomenon where a prisoner becomes so used to the size of their cell that the idea of an open field causes them to have a panic attack. You have been fighting battles for so long that peace feels suspicious to you. You have been surrounded by drama for so long that silence feels lonely. So when God says start packing, your spirit rejoices, but your nervous system goes into shock. Your nervous system is screaming, "No! Stay in the cage! The cage is safe!" And this brings us to a specific deception that happens in the minds of everyone who is about to be extracted. It is the lie of nostalgia. We see this played out perfectly in the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 5. The Israelites have been freed from Egypt. They are eating manna, the supernatural bread from heaven. But look at what they say. They start weeping and they say, "We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost, also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic." Look at the detail in that memory. They didn't just say, "We miss the food." They listed the menu: cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, garlic. But notice what they did not list. They did not list the whips. They did not list the slavery. They did not list the fact that their male children were thrown into the river. They did not list the bricks they had to make without straw. Nostalgia is a liar. It edits the tape of your life. Right now, as you are packing to leave this season, your mind is playing a highlight reel of the things you are leaving behind. You are thinking about the good times with that toxic friend. You are thinking about the financial security of that job that is draining your soul. You are thinking about the chemistry with that partner who does not respect God. You are remembering the cucumbers and the garlic, but you have conveniently forgotten the whip. You have forgotten the nights you cried yourself to sleep. You have forgotten the anxiety attacks on Sunday night before work. You have forgotten how small you had to shrink just to fit in their presence. God is trying to get you to the promised land, but you are crying over onions. I need you to break agreement with that lie right now. In your mind, I want you to say, "I do not miss Egypt. I only miss the familiarity of Egypt, and I refuse to trade my destiny for a memory of a leak." But I know the fear is real. The fear is not just about missing the past, it is about the cost of the future. You are asking, what if I pack and I leave and I fall? Let me tell you about someone who asked that same question. I will not use his name, but he is a chosen one just like you. About 8 months ago, he received the same word you are receiving now. God told him to pack. God told him to leave a specific partnership that was unequal. It was a business arrangement that provided 80% of his income, but the partner was corrupt. The instruction was clear. Get out. Start packing. I have a new stream for you. But he hesitated. He looked at his bank account. He looked at his bills. And he made a logical decision. He said, "God, I hear you. But give me 3 months. I will save up a cushion. I will pack slowly. I will make a smooth transition." It sounded wise. It sounded responsible. But it was disobedience wrapped in logic. For 3 months, he stayed. He didn't pack. He tried to manage the extraction on his own terms. On day 91, exactly 3 months later, the collapse happened. The corrupt partner was investigated for fraud. All the accounts were frozen. Not only did he lose the income he was trying to protect, but his reputation was dragged into the mud by association. He lost his car. He lost his apartment. He ended up sleeping on his brother's couch. He came to me in tears and asked, "Why did God let this happen? I was going to leave, and I had to tell him the hard truth. God didn't destroy you. God evicted you." When you overstay your expiration date in a season, the protection lifts, the grace lifts, and suddenly you are paying the full bill for a room you were supposed to vacate. He eventually recovered, but he had to rebuild from zero. He had to walk through the wilderness the hard way. Chosen one. I am telling you this story not to scare you, but to save you. Delayed obedience is the most expensive thing in the world. You think you are saving yourself by waiting, by packing slowly, by keeping one foot in the door. No. You are setting yourself up for a collapse. When God says, start packing, he means the lease is up. The insurance policy on that old life is cancelled effective immediately. It is safer to step out into the unknown with God than to stay in the known without him. Now, I want to address the heaviest bag you are carrying. I can feel it weighing on you right now. It is the bag labeled guilt. As you start to pull away, as you start to archive those relationships and set those boundaries, you feel a sickness in your stomach. You feel like you are betraying people. You feel like you are being selfish. The enemy loves to use your empathy against you. He tells you, if you were a real Christian, you would stay and help them. If you were really loving, you wouldn't cut them off. We need to perform some surgery on that feeling right now. I want you to do a mental scan of your body. Locate that heavy, sinking feeling. Is it in your gut? Is it behind your solar plexus? Focus on it. We are going to relabel that sensation. That is not guilt. That is the feeling of a rocket booster detaching. Imagine a space shuttle launching. It needs massive boosters to get off the ground. But once it reaches a certain altitude, those boosters become dead weight. If the shuttle does not detach them, it cannot reach orbit. It will crash. When the boosters fall away, it is violent. It shakes the ship, but it is not a malfunction. It is necessary physics. The people you are leaving behind, they were your boosters. They helped you survive the gravity of your past. They served a purpose. But they are not built for the altitude of your tomorrow. They do not have the oxygen supply for where you are going. If you keep holding on to them out of guilt, you will suffocate them, and you will crash yourself. Releasing them is not an act of hate. It is an act of mercy. You are releasing them to their own journey, and you are releasing yourself to yours. So, right now, in your imagination, I want you to see that heavy feeling in your stomach as a heavy metal clamp. Visualize yourself floating upward. You are rising, and as you rise, that clamp snaps open. Clang. Watch the heavy weights falling away below you. Do not look down at them with regret. Look up at where you are going. Feel the lightness returning to your body. You are not abandoning them. You are obeying your flight plan. Take a deep breath in, and as you let it out, say to your spirit, I release the guilt of growing. I am allowed to ascend. Good. You are lighter now. You are packed. You have dealt with the shadow. You have silenced the nostalgia. You have released the guilt. You are psychologically prepared to walk out the door. But there is one final piece of the puzzle that you are still missing. And this is the piece that changes everything. You are still looking at your watch. You are still looking at your calendar. You are thinking, okay, God said tomorrow. Does that mean Tuesday? Does that mean next week? When exactly is this shift happening? You are looking for a time. But God is not talking about a time. If you keep waiting for a specific date, you will miss the portal entirely. Because the tomorrow God spoke to you about is not on any clock that mankind has created. It is something far more mysterious. And if you can grasp what I am about to tell you next, you won't just walk into your future, you will teleport there. Stop looking at your calendar. Stop counting the days. Stop waiting for the sun to rise. Because what I am about to tell you will shatter your perception of time. This is the revelation that separates those who wait for miracles from those who walk in them. When God said tomorrow, you assumed he was talking about a date. You assumed he meant 24 hours from now. You assumed he was bound by the rotation of the earth. You were thinking in chronos linear, human time. But God speaks in kairos divine, appointed time. Here is the truth that the enemy has been trying to hide from you. Tomorrow is not a time. Tomorrow is a dimension. In the Hebrew language, the word for tomorrow is mahar, and mahar implies something far deeper than just the next day. It implies a time to come, a future that is already prepared. Think of it like a radio station. Right now, you might be tuned into station 88.5, the station of struggle. On this station, all you hear is noise, lack, and confusion. But God is broadcasting on station 101.5, the station of tomorrow. On that station, the healing is already done, the provision is already in the bank, the door is already open. Both stations are broadcasting at the exact same time. Right now, in this very room. The problem is not that God hasn't sent the blessing. The problem is that your receiver is still tuned to the frequency of yesterday. God is not saying, wait 24 hours and I will bless you. He is saying, sanctify yourself, pack your bags, and shift your frequency to match the dimension where the blessing already exists. This is why you feel so disjointed. This is why you feel that glitch we talked about. Your spirit has picked up the signal of tomorrow, but your mind is still decoding the static of today. You are trying to live in 2 dimensions at once, and it is tearing you apart. We see this mystery unlocked in the book of Joshua, chapter 3, verse 5. The Israelites are standing at the edge of the Jordan River. They are about to cross over into the promised land there tomorrow. Listen to what Joshua commands them. He does not say, sharpen your swords. He does not say, build a bridge. He says, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Look at the order of operations. Sanctify first, wonders second. He was telling them, you cannot enter the dimension of wonders while you are carrying the dust of the wilderness. You have to wash off the frequency of the desert before you can step into the frequency of the destiny. The packing we have been doing, the burning of the boxes, the cutting of ties, that is the sanctification. That is you tuning the dial. That is you clearing the static so you can lock into the new signal. And once you lock in, you don't have to wait for the calendar to turn. When you align with God's frequency, tomorrow invades your today. Time collapses. Acceleration happens. What takes the world 10 years, God does in 10 minutes. So the question is not, when will it happen? The question is, are you tuned in? Is less than has shown. 5 hash is greater than. Right now, I am going to give you the frequency shift protocol. This is how you grab that knob on the radio of your soul and turn it violently toward the promise. There are 3 specific steps to this protocol. I am going to give you the first 2 right now, and they require absolute mental discipline. The first step is the verbal embargo. You cannot tune into the frequency of victory while speaking the language of victimhood. It is physically impossible. Every time you complain about your current situation, you are locking the dial back to station struggle. For the next 24 hours, you are under a strict embargo. You are forbidden from speaking about what is going wrong. You are forbidden from rehearsing your trauma. You are forbidden from agreeing with the enemy's report. If you cannot speak faith, you must choose silence. Silence is better than sabotage. In your mind, imagine a seal over your mouth, a golden seal that filters every word. If it doesn't match the reality of tomorrow, it does not get out. The second step is the vision anchor. You have to live in the new house mentally before you live in it physically. You have to walk through the doors of that new opportunity in your spirit before the email ever arrives. I want you to do this with me right now. This is a mental action. Close your eyes to the room you are in. Block out the furniture. Block out the walls of your current reality. I want you to pull up the memory of the promise God gave you, the clearest picture you have of your tomorrow. See it. Is it a restored family? Is it a business that funds the kingdom? Is it a body that is healed and whole? Zoom into that image. Don't just look at it like a movie screen. Step into it. Feel the floor of that new season under your feet. Is it carpet? Is it wood? Is it the pavement of a new city? Smell the air. Does it smell like rain? Does it smell like ocean? Does it smell like freedom? Now, look at yourself in that vision. Look at your face. You look different, don't you? The worry lines are gone. The tension in your jaw is gone. You are smiling, not a fake smile, but a deep, resonant joy. Hold that image, anchor it, drive a stake through it. Tell yourself, this is not a fantasy, this is a prophecy. This is the station I am tuning to, this is where I live now. When you open your eyes in a moment, do not go back to your old reality. Bring this feeling with you. Superimpose this vision over your current circumstances. That is how you hold the frequency. You have the verbal embargo. You have the vision anchor. You are turning the dial. The static is clearing. The music of your destiny is starting to come through crisp and clear. But I must warn you, there is a third step to this protocol, and it is the most dangerous one. I saved it for last because once you take this third step, there is no turning back. And you need to know this. The moment you successfully shift your frequency, the moment you actually lock into God's tomorrow, you are going to disappear from the enemy's radar in the old dimension. And that terrifies him. He cannot track you when you move in the spirit. So he is not going to just let you tune him out. He is going to try to break the radio. As you stand here, vibrating at this new level, getting ready to take the final step, a dark cloud is gathering at the edge of your perimeter. The enemy is preparing his final, desperate assault to drag you back down to the frequency of flesh. The third step of the frequency shift protocol is total detachment. This is the step that declares war. Steps 1 and 2, the verbal embargo and the vision anchor, were about tuning into God. Step 3 is about tuning out the world. Total detachment means you stop reacting to the old dimension entirely. You become a ghost to your past. You stop explaining yourself. You stop defending your decisions. You stop trying to make the people in the old season understand the new map. You simply disconnect. And this is exactly why the enemy is mobilizing against you right now. You need to understand the timing of hell. The enemy does not attack you when you are complaining. He does not attack you when you are depressed. He does not even attack you when you are praying for a breakthrough, as long as you stay in the same place. He attacks when you move. We see this principle in Exodus chapter 14, verse 5. Listen to the specific timing of this verse. It says, "When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds about them and said, 'What have we done? We have let the Israelites go and have lost their services.'" Did you catch that? Pharaoh did not chase them during the 10 plagues. He did not chase them while they were eating the Passover. He chased them when he realized they had fled. When you were just talking about leaving, the enemy wasn't worried. But now that you have shifted your frequency, now that you have practiced total detachment, the enemy realizes he has lost his services. He has lost his supply of your energy. He has lost his ability to manipulate you. So he is scrambling his chariots. He is coming after you with what I call the exit attacks. These are not random bad days. These are strategic, targeted missiles designed to hit you exactly at your weakest point right before you cross the border. I am going to give you the playbook of the 3 most dangerous forms of confrontation you will face in the next 72 hours. These are from the Exit edition of the Enemy's Strategy Guide. The first form is the guilt trip. This attack uses the people you love as weapons against you. Suddenly, your family members who haven't called you in months will call you with a crisis. Your friends will accuse you of acting brand new or thinking you are better than them. The enemy knows that you have a soft heart. He knows that you are a giver. So he will try to weaponize your empathy to chain you back to the Titanic. You will hear phrases like, "After everything I did for you, you're just going to leave?" Or, "I thought we were in this together." Do not be fooled. That is not your mother speaking. That is not your friend speaking. That is the spirit of Pharaoh trying to guilt-trip a slave back into making bricks. If you stop now to explain, if you stop to comfort them, you will miss your window. You must love them from a distance. You must pray for them from the chariot of your departure, but you cannot turn the car around. The second form is the most deceptive one. It is called the sudden opportunity. This is the one that takes out the strongest chosen ones. Right when you pack your bags, right when you decide to trust God for the unknown, suddenly the old season offers you a promotion. The boss who ignored you for 5 years suddenly offers you a raise. The ex who treated you like trash suddenly comes back with flowers and a ring. The opportunity you prayed for 3 years ago, the one that would have been a blessing back then, suddenly shows up at your door. This is a trap. This is what I call a golden handcuff. The enemy is trying to buy you back. He is trying to see if your price is comfort. He is betting that you will settle for a good version of your past instead of the God version of your future. I need you to visualize this right now. In your mind, imagine a table. On that table is a shiny golden contract. It represents that sudden job offer, that sudden relationship return. It looks perfect. It looks like the answer to your old prayers. Now, look under the table. In the spirit, see the chain attached to that contract. Follow the chain down into the darkness. It is bolted to the floor of Egypt. If you sign that contract, if you take that bait, you are anchoring yourself to a sinking ship. You have outgrown that prayer. That blessing is expired food. Do not eat it. Let me tell you about a chosen one who faced this exact test. 2 years ago, this man was called to launch a ministry. He knew he had to leave his corporate job. He felt the extraction. He packed his boxes. He gave his notice. On his last day, the CEO called him in and offered him a position he had wanted for a decade. Double the salary. A corner office. Prestige. Security. It was everything he thought he wanted. He called me, shaking. He said, "Maybe this is God rewarding me. Maybe I don't have to leave." I told him, "This is not a reward. This is a bribe from the enemy to keep you from your destiny." He stood in the fire of that decision for 24 hours. He sweated, he cried, but he chose the unknown. He walked away from the money. 6 months later, that corporation was indicted for massive fraud. The entire executive team was fired and faced legal action. If he had taken that seat, he would have gone down with the ship. Instead, he was safe in his new season, building something that is now touching thousands of lives. The sudden opportunity is almost always a trap. Discern the source. The third form of confrontation is the false peace. This is when everything goes quiet. The attacks stop, the bills get paid, the arguments cease, the storm suddenly vanishes. You think, "Oh, I guess I don't need to leave. Things are getting better here." No, things are not getting better. The enemy has simply ceased fire to lull you to sleep. He wants you to unpack your bags. He wants you to take off your shoes. He wants you to get comfortable again. It is an ambush. The moment you relax, the moment you commit to staying, the attack will return with 7 times the intensity, and you will be too weak to fight back. Do not trust the calm in Egypt. The only peace you can trust is the peace of the promised land. So, how do we fight these three attacks? We do not fight them with arguments. We do not fight them with logic. We fight them with focus. I want you to engage a mental action with me right now. This is your weapon. Close your eyes to your surroundings. I want you to imagine you are wearing a suit of armor, but this is not heavy metal. It is made of light. It is smooth. It is impenetrable. Now, imagine the guilt trip coming at you like a sticky black tar. Watch it hit your armor and slide right off. It cannot stick to you. You are too slippery with the anointing of the future. Imagine the sudden opportunity coming at you like a golden hook. Watch it bounce off your chest plate. You are not hungry for their bread anymore. Imagine the false peace like a fog trying to make you sleepy. But your helmet of salvation is glowing. You are alert. You are awake. You see right through the mist. Say this in your spirit. I am not for sale. I am not for guilt. I am not for staying. I am moving. Hold that stance. Feel the strength of a soldier who has received orders from the king. You are not a refugee running away. You are an army advancing. You have defeated the external enemy. You have identified the traps. You have refused the bribes. But the war is not over yet. You have dealt with the threats outside your house. But now, we must look inside your house. We must look inside your bag one last time. Because tonight is not just any night. Tonight is the Passover night. And there is a specific checklist of instructions that God gave for this night. Instructions that determine whether the destroyer passes over your home or enters it. There are 3 things you must do before the sun rises on your tomorrow. And if you miss one of them, the door might not open. You have secured the perimeter. You have identified the enemy's exit attacks. You have put on the armor of light. But now, we must turn our attention inside the house. Because while you were fighting the enemy at the gate, you still have to prepare the sanctuary for the departure. Tonight is your spiritual Passover, and just like the Israelites in Egypt, there are specific things you must do inside your soul before the angel of the Lord moves. This is not about physical cleaning. I am not asking you to mop your floors. I am asking you to sanitize your spirit. We are going to go through the departure checklist. There are 3 mandatory actions you must take in the next few hours to ensure you are cleared for takeoff. If you skip these, you risk carrying a spiritual infection into your new season. The first item on the checklist is the digital detox. But this is not about taking a break from social media because you are tired. This is strategic silence. This is closing the portals of comparison. I want you to do a mental scan of your digital life right now. Who are you following that makes you feel small? Who are you stalking that belongs to your past? Which accounts are you watching that make you doubt your own calling? Those are not just apps. Those are windows into Egypt. And every time you look through them, you are inviting the spirit of stagnation into your living room. In your mind, I want you to visualize yourself walking through your phone. Imagine you are holding a stamp that says cancelled. See yourself stamping the accounts that drain you. See yourself stamping the conversations that go nowhere. See yourself hitting the block button on the spies who only watch you to see if you fail. The block button is not petty, it is a spiritual weapon. It is you closing the door so the enemy cannot throw trash into your house. You need to mute the spies. You cannot focus on your own lane if you are obsessed with theirs. Clear the feed so you can hear the frequency. The second item on the checklist is the verbal fast. This is critical. For the next phase of your transition, you must put a guard over your mouth. There is a biblical principle here. When Elizabeth became pregnant with John the Baptist, she went into seclusion. When Zacharias questioned the angel, God shut his mouth until the baby was born. Why? Because silence is the incubator of miracles. If you talk about your plans too soon, you invite abortion. You invite the opinions of people who do not understand your womb. You invite the jealousy of people who are barren. God has given you a vision for tomorrow. Do not cast that pearl before swine. Do not try to explain the color of the sky to people who have lived their whole lives in a cave. They will only tell you that you are hallucinating. Your instruction for tonight is simple. Stop leaking. In your imagination, visualize a golden zipper on your lips. Zip it shut. This is not suppression. This is containment. You are building up pressure. You are building up power. Every word you do not speak is energy you are saving for the launch. The third item on the checklist is vision casting. You have cleared the digital noise. You have silenced the verbal noise. Now you must fill the vacuum with the reality of where you are going. We need to look at the promise in Deuteronomy chapter 8. This is the briefing for the land you are about to enter. God was very specific about this. He didn't just say it would be nice. He gave details. Listen to the geography of your tomorrow. He said, "For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and springs that flow out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land where you will eat bread without scarcity, in which you will lack nothing." I want you to let those words paint a picture in your mind right now. Visualize the brooks of water. That is the refreshing you have been craving. No more spiritual dehydration, no more striving. Visualize the wheat and the barley. That is the harvest. That is the return on all the seeds you cried over. Visualize the bread without scarcity. That is the end of the poverty mindset. That is the end of living paycheck to paycheck, whether that is financial or emotional. You are moving from the land of not enough to the land of more than enough. Anchor this image in your spirit. When the fear tries to creep back in tonight, when the enemy tries to tell you that you are making a mistake, pull up this picture. Tell him, "No, I am not going to a funeral. I am going to a feast." Now, chosen one, the checklist is complete. You have detached from the old frequency. You have identified the traps. You have silenced the spies. You have locked your eyes on the promise. I want to do one final somatic check with you before we initiate the launch sequence. I want you to focus on your shoulders right now. For years, you have been carrying a backpack of responsibility that wasn't yours. You have been carrying the weight of other people's expectations. You have been carrying the shame of your past mistakes. But because you have done the work in this video, that backpack has been unbuckled. Take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs to the very bottom. And as you exhale, I want you to mentally shrug your shoulders. Drop them. Feel that? That sensation of lightness? That tingling running down your arms? That is the physical sensation of the past falling off. It hit the floor. You are no longer carrying it. You are standing tall. You are aerodynamic. You are ready for flight. The spiritual atmosphere in your room has shifted. Can you feel it? The heaviness is gone. The static is gone. There is a holy silence waiting for a command. The portals of tomorrow are opening. The King is standing at the threshold. Everything we have done for the last hour has been preparation for this single moment. We are done talking about it. We are done learning about it. It is time to do it. There is only one thing left to do. If you are in a safe place, I need you to prepare to physically stand up. If you are driving or cannot stand, prepare your spirit to stand at attention. Because we are about to activate the command, we are about to seal the extraction. Are you ready? Get up. If you are physically able, stand on your feet right now. If you cannot stand, then stand up on the inside. Pull your spirit to attention. Place your right hand over your heart. This is the posture of receiving orders. This is the posture of a soldier who is done asking questions and is ready to execute the mission. This is not a prayer request. We are not begging God to do what he has already promised. This is a sealing ceremony. We are closing the door on yesterday and locking the door of tomorrow from the inside so you cannot leave. Father God, in the mighty, matchless name of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, the King of Glory, we stand before you at this threshold. We declare that the atmosphere in this room has changed. The timeline has shifted. The glitch is fixed. We acknowledge that everything spoken in this message was not information. It was an eviction notice to the enemy and an invitation to destiny. Father, I thank you for this chosen one standing here. You know what it cost them to get to this moment. You saw them in the secret place when they were packing those boxes. You saw the tears they cried when they put their favorite toxic memories into the burn box. You saw the shaking of their hands when they archived the old season. You know the fear they battled. You know the guilt they felt. But they did not turn back. They did not become a pillar of salt. They kept moving, and that faithfulness has qualified them for the dimension of tomorrow. So right now, by the authority of the living word, I seal this work in their spirit. I seal the protocol of the 3 boxes. I declare that what is burned remains ash. The bitterness is gone. The trauma is incinerated. It cannot be reassembled. What is archived remains in history. It will not haunt their future. And what is in their carry-on, their pure faith, is supernaturally protected. I seal the frequency shift. I command their spiritual receiver to be locked onto station tomorrow. I break the knob so they cannot turn it back to the static of the past. I bind the spirit of Pharaoh that is trying to chase them. I declare that the waters of the Red Sea are closing behind them right now. The guilt trip cannot cross. The false peace cannot cross. The sudden opportunity cannot cross. The enemy is drowned in the wake of their obedience. I seal the digital detox and the verbal fast. I declare a hedge of fire around their mind and their mouth. No weapon formed against their focus shall prosper. And now I prophesy over your immediate future. I declare that you have stepped out of Chronos and into Kairos. I declare that the tomorrow you have been waiting for is invading your today. I declare that within the next 40 hours, you will see physical evidence of this shift. A phone call will come that confirms your departure. A provision will manifest that funds your journey. A peace that passes all understanding will guard your heart, proving that you have left the war zone. You are entering a land of brooks of water, a land where you will eat bread without scarcity. The struggle to survive is over. The season of stewardship has begun. Now, chosen one, heaven is asking you one final question. The angels are holding the pen, ready to record your answer. Will you go? Will you walk away from the familiar pain to embrace the unfamiliar glory? Will you trust God when you cannot see the map? If your answer is yes, I want you to open your mouth and say it out loud. Shout it into the atmosphere. Say yes. Say, I am ready. Say, I am moving. Heaven heard that. The earth heard that. Hell heard that. It is recorded. It is decided. It is done. You are commissioned. You are not a refugee running from a fire. You are a general marching toward a throne. Go now, chosen one. You are released from the holding pattern. You are released from the waiting room. You are released from the guilt of growing. Walk in it. Own it. Do not look back. In the name that opens doors no man can shut, and shuts doors no man can open, in the name of Yeshua, do not say Amen yet. I want you to sit in this silence for 60 seconds. Do not click away. Do not rush to the next video. Let the weight of this glory settle into your bones. Let the seal harden. You are free.